In order to explain you the difference in the draft feature due to the selection of draft hinge or due to the selection of different draft hinges, I have created 3 identical boxes which are having same dimensions or equal dimension. So what I'll be doing is I'll be adding a draft, or I will be creating a draft on all the 4 faces. For each of the box, I will be keeping a similar draft angle, but I will be choosing the different references in order to understand the difference in the appearance of a draft feature. So for that, I will be creating a plane first. I already have an horizontal plane. I will go to the plane, I'll choose this plane as the reference, and I will create a plane on the top side. Let me keep the distance to be 30 units. I will add one more plane right now by selecting the horizontal plane as a reference. And this time I will go to the downside or the bottom side. So we have created 3 planes right now, and let us create the draft feature for each box. For that, I have activated the draft feature. Now I will simply right click and see that the draft surface is selected, and I will go to the draft surface 1, 2, holding the control button, select all the 4 faces for the first box. So the first important task is done right now. The next important task is to select the hinge, which I will be again doing it by clicking the right button or the right click on the mouse and selecting the draft hinges. So for the first box, I will be selecting the hinge as the first plane. I have selected the first plane, and automatically you can see in the dynamic view, I am getting an amount of draft angle. I will change the pull direction and change the side of the draft. Let me keep a constant draft angle for all the boxes and let it be, say, 15 degrees. So right now the top plane is selected for the first box. Let us create a draft feature for the second box and select the draft hinge as this second plane. So I'll simply press OK. And I will go to the draft, select the 4 faces. I'll click on the right button in the mouse and I will go to draft hinges. So I'm just avoiding the selection of the ribbon, the command in the ribbon. I'm simply pressing right click and activating the hinge mode. And now I have to select the hinge for the second box, which I will be selecting as the second horizontal plane. I want to keep a similar angle for all the boxes, and in the earlier case I have chosen 15 degrees. So again I'm choosing 15 degrees as well. I'll press OK. So I believe visually you are understanding that there is a variation in the draft for the box 1 and box 2. Let us understand this more clearly by adding a draft feature in the third box. Done with the surfaces, hold the right click, select draft hinges, select the respective hinge, that is the bottom plane. Change the pull direction, and I want to keep the similar angle for all the features or the boxes, and I'll press OK. So I believe you can see clearly in the front view that even though the angle of draft was selected or was entered a common value for all the 3 cases, we have a variation in the draft or the taperedness with respect to the change in the draft hinge. So in the first case we have selected the top plane and we had the 15 degree angle with respect to this hinge. In the second case we had the 15 degree angle with respect to the second plane in the second box, and in the final box we had the 15 degree angle with respect to the final or the third plane. So no matter what is the angle of draft, the selection of the hinge is also very important, and the selection of hinge totally depends on the applications what we are working on. So this is something about the differences in the selection of draft hinge. Let us move on and discuss some different features present in the draft command.